Welcome to the next installment in the Albany series, covering all the Willamette Valley Railroad action emanating from its rail hub of Albany. We start the final chapter of the Toledo series in the heart of the valley, Corvallis. The Toledo line tracks cut right through the middle of Oregon State University's campus. On a foggy fall morning, the Corvallis switcher brings several center beams of lumber through town from Philomath. This daylight local runs remotely with a one-man crew. The tracks run just north of Gill Coliseum and Reser Stadium, where the basketball and football teams play for the Oregon State Beavers. Tiny Corvallis Yard sits at milepole 688.4 on the west side line. However, where the tracks come together here on the Toledo branch, it's milepole 703.4. It could be confusing today making sense of this since all the tracks radiate from Albany. However, the west side line mileposts maintain their distance from a long-gone connection to the Coos Bay line at a location called Transfer near Eugene. Here we see the Corvallis switcher putting its power away in the yard at the end of the day. At the north end of the yard is a Y connecting to the Toledo line. This connection was made after the Corvallis and Eastern was taken over by the Southern Pacific. Where the train is now rounding the bend, the C&E tracks once continued turning north up 9th Street and crossed the Southern Pacific West Side line at Corvallis Junction. The 9th Street trackage was ripped up in 1928, and this new connection was laid down at that time. Where the Toledo branch enters the west side line here is called Bailey Junction. After the train enters west side rails, it will travel down 6th Street a little more than a mile before re-entering the Toledo branch once again at Corvallis Junction. Corvallis Junction, north of town, is where the Toledo branch diverges off the west side line for the final leg of the trip to Albany. Seen from Highway 99 overpass, the Corvallis switcher is pulling a sizable cut to be set out at Asher Siding. Stay tuned for more Corvallis switcher coverage and a video soon to come. Finally, Albany Yard, Portland & Western's main shops and switching center, is the beginning and end for traffic flowing to and from stations like McMinnville, Willamina, Corvallis, Mill City, Lebanon, and of course Toledo. This is also where round-the-clock switch jobs sort cars into trains for such jobs as the West Sider and WP, Albany Eastern, and Toledo haulers. Albany has also been notorious for finding first-generation diesels still in service, but this is now changing as locomotives such as the 1501 are leaving the property as of the fall of 2023. Also, slug number 101, which was once a daily sight on Toledo-bound consists, has been retired for scrap.
002 at Albany has authority to enter main track and proceed south. Alright, copy that. Understand. PNWR 3002 has authority into the main track at Albany and proceed south. Over. You guys don't have PTC, do you? We do not have PTC, no. Fortunately, then I could get it word for word then. It's going to be PNWR 3002 at Albany has authority to enter main track and proceed south. Copy, understand. PNWR 3002 at Albany has authority to enter the main track and proceed south. Over. Is this correct? All correct. Thank you, dispatch. Will you know we're all line behind? PNWR 3002 out.
The longest railroad bridge in the Willamette Valley crosses the Willamette River here, entering Albany, where the inbound crew calls the Union Pacific dispatcher for authority to enter CTC track to cross into their own yard. Until the early 2000s, the switch here on the Brooklyn subdivision was a spring switch. Since then, the switch was made rigid, and even more recently, a control point was added just to the north. The signals beyond the train are control point VP 692, controlled by the dispatcher in Omaha, which allows the dispatcher to automatically line trains in and out of the north end of the yard. With the train yarded, the consist will venture through the yard to enter the shops from the north for fuel, sand, and water, and any other service they need before heading tonight's Toledo hauler. hopefully the Toledo branch journey has been an enjoyable one. However, the action covered from Albany is far from over. Though we've now closed the book on the Toledo line, Pacific Rail Productions invites you aboard for the next chapter in the Albany series coming soon.